Brad, you were playing like Genshin earlier and stuff, right? Like, what do you even call your favorite hobby anyway?
Oh, that's easy. It's spreading misinformation on the internet. Hello and welcome to the Poorhammer Podcast, episode 150. I'm your host, Brad. This is my co-host, Eric.
How's it going?
And to celebrate 150 failures, we brought one on. Say hi, Bricky.
I prepared something, but then your harsh statement towards my person made me lose my mind, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man.
Welcome to the episode that you desperately wanted to record 3 to 4 weeks ago.
I'm so happy that we get to talk about 24 detachments. I'm sure that they will all be worth talking about, and none of them will be at all a complete waste of my oxygen.
I thought it was supposed to be 30.
No, today is the 15th.
What?
You're not wrong. It means nothing, but you're not wrong.
How did you get so many subscribers?
Practice, 10 years.
Speaking of, we'll be back to that discussion when we talk about something else.
Oh no.
But on this week's episode, we are going to go over all of the Grotmas detachments now that we've had enough time to read them. And I guess we're going to tier list them.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less still like a hot takes. I haven't played with any of them.
All right. Now, without any further ado, let's get to some further ado.
Sounds good.
All right, Bricky, I brought you on to Merch Baron.
Don't you mean to bear your merch?
In money?
Bear my children?
Why did you put another Orchid next to the other one? Money!
Money.
We have a new design.
Right, Bricky?
A brand new one that Bricky can definitely sales pitch because he's noticed it.
You know what? I've been delegating a lot lately, and I noticed it, and they've already begun doing all the things that you need, but I haven't actually seen it yet. Give me a second. Okay, clothing and accessories. Let's see here. Poorhammer. Oh, nope. Mock-ups. Here we are. All right, mock-ups, product sheets. Let's go. I see a Daka on here.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he firing a bucket of dice at that definitely not Space Marine?
Yes.
Damn. You know what? I'm not going to lie, and call me blind or whatever you want to call me. I was looking at it from a faraway distance, and I noticed the Imperial Aquila on the chest with the dice overtaking it makes it look like the state of Michigan.
All right, give me a moment. Hold on.
Now I have to go look at the image again to see if he's on drugs.
What the fuck did we send him?
Blur it in your eyes a little bit. Cross-eye it a little bit. Look from like far away, with all the dice covering it. You can be like, that looks like a state.
Have you seen Michigan?
No, I haven't actually. But it looks like a state, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, I looked at a closer image, and I'd like Berilio to remove my entire last tangent.
Here, let me take my glasses off for a moment.
Unfortunately for you, he loves leaving things in after I tell him to remove that.
Oh yeah, if I take my glasses off and squint a little bit, maybe.
And gouge my eyes out. It looks like whatever you want me to.
How are you guys seeing this?
Well, you see, I have really, really bad eyesight. I basically see green, and I'm like, maps are green, right? It's Michigan.
Oh shit. You have alopecia?
No, he doesn't have Appalachia.
Yes, I'm here. I'm shilling their merchandise. They have provided some brand new images, and considering how much you all bought the shovel one, it only makes sense that you buy the Daka one next. And, well, it's available. It's in multiple types of hoodies, shirts. There's a mug, there's stickers. They're all available currently, but you can buy that off the Poorhammer website if you'd like. But if you would like the long-awaited and definitely not forgotten about game show shirt available on $1 Billion Clown Farm's site, where Poorhammer gets no money.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can check that one out also.
And as one final reminder, we are also doing a bunch of live streams this month to try to set up our Twitch channel. So if you love us very much, could you go follow us over at twitch.tv/Poorhammer, and you might get to see us for a stream. We just crossed 600 followers. So Bricky, we're catching up. We're almost to 1% of you.
Nice. Proud of you.
And this is Brad from the future, just jumping back into this episode. We just recorded an LVO hot takes reveal show thing. Go watch it. Anyone can watch it on our Patreon as long as you follow us there. You don't have to pay us a dime. Just follow us on Patreon and you'll have access to the link to the video. And there you go. All right, to start us off, I threw together 5 tiers. If you guys hate the names, screw you. I had to think of them up on my own.
They're pretty terrible.
Fuck you. Do some work around here.
Sad soup.
Sad soup was great. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, you put like a colon and then like a parentheses of alphabet soup. It's a sad soup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was the most condescending I think I've ever heard. Get on with it then, Brad.
All right, talking about colon, let's start at the bottom and work our way up. We've got 5 tiers to play with here. They are, the worst of the worst is written at gunpoint. And then we've got wasted potential above that. Then we've got its model bait / sad soup, which is a saddening tier to be in. And then we have injecting variety, which is actually a pretty good tier to be in. It's really what you're aiming for, but you're really lucky if you get that 5-star pull, which is our top tier. Nothing at all to do with the fact that I just pulled Herta in HSR earlier today.
It was like nothing to do with the fact that you were literally playing a gacha game as we were trying to drag you into recording.
I had to wait for Bricky to get out of a meeting.
Yeah, that's it.
I was honestly about to say, how about you pull some bitches, Brad? But I forget you're married.
I'm the only married one here.
You're the only one with bitches.
All right, so we've got 30 detachments / an index to get through.
All right, Brad, how are we starting with this off?
Sisters, apparently.
Yeah, these are just in alphabetical order because I'm very clever. We can go in whatever order we want, boys. I have the least opinion on Sisters if Bricky wants to start us off with his strong opinions.
Okay, here's the thing, right? This detachment pre-Miracle Dice nerf, I would probably have put it in like model bait / sad soup or injecting variety. Probably injecting variety. That's kind of where I would have put it in because I was like, dang, we got a lot of free Miracle Dice. You can put it places. It's the command phase. It gives us some movement. The strats are pretty good. Sacrosants get a bit better. They hit pretty hard. Blah, 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 blah. And then the Miracle Dice thing got changed. And honestly, I'm not quite sure if it is written at gunpoint, but it feels like it's written at gunpoint. It might be wasted potential, like an actual strength, but it hurts so much that I have like a moral written at gunpoint.
There's no way that they were expecting the nerf in the way that it did when they wrote this up. There's just no way.
Yeah, because it's trying to drain Miracle Dice you no longer have.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just bad because you don't have dice anymore. Straight up. The things you get when you buff them are good, but war suits already have +1 to hit and wound against vehicles, which is what you're sending them into anyway. Honestly, the enhancements and the stratagems are actually pretty darn good because 1 CP for +1 strength and +1 AP for a buffed unit in melee, that's really good. There's some solid stuff.
It's doing what you would want to do with an army that's gonna have Sacrosanct's battle line. If you're going hard into that style of thing, this would work, but it doesn't.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like wasted potential probably is more where it should be.
I think it has to go there because the detachment itself, while I don't think it's amazing, would have been all right if it hadn't been for the rebalance turning it into true trash. So I think wasted potential is the right spot for it.
Yeah, I guess more than anything, if we were to look at this from a pre-Miracle Dice change, I'd probably put it in variety or model bait soup, but for this one, yeah, it's just wasted.
But I could totally understand that you want to put it written at gunpoint because
I'm upset by it.
Yeah, emotionally.
I am extremely upset by it, but I will accept it for what it is.
All right, where do we want to go next, Eric?
Custodes.
Should we just go on a line? Let's just go on a line.
I was like, why are we trying to make this more difficult if it's in this order?
We can go on a line. We've put them in a completely random order you'll never be able to guess.
Yeah.
So Eric wants to do Custodes next. I don't remember it well. Luckily, our editor spent literally an entire day making the most complex, overdone show notes of all time, only for us to audible into making a tier list episode.
These show notes are crazy.
Berilio, this is where you can put the sad music and show everyone how much hard work we're throwing in the garbage for you. But man, is it convenient while we're doing a tier list to be able to click these buttons and go to these pages.
So I actually fought a buddy of mine who runs Custodes with the Solar Spearhead.
Was it just a bunch of Telemons and just Dreadnoughts? And
it was 3 Contemptors, a Telemon, 2 of the Sword and Board guys, and I think 1 of the Spear guys, plus some bikes.
hell yeah.
I mean, he didn't trounce me. I played guard. I didn't play bridgehead. I played combined regiment, pre-codex and everything, and I lost by 3 points.
Not bad.
I would honestly put them in injecting variety.
I think so as well.
I think that is a really, really good detachment.
As much as it is model bait because it's the Forge World detachment, it's a good detachment.
And that's why I'm going to override and bring it down to model bait, because it is specifically Forge World models that they are trying to push. This is, please clear our warehouse out before we make all of these legends in a year and a half. I will tell you that this might be an amazing detachment. Under no circumstance, go out and buy Forge World models to play it. If you already have them, use this for one last hurrah. If you don't have them but want to play this, find a friend with a 3D printer.
I think the normal Contemptor Dreads are a good start.
They're extremely good in this detachment.
But the normal Contemptor doesn't have any options.
Doesn't matter. It's the fact that it comes back alive on a 2-up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
And therefore it has the below half, which gives it reroll 1s to hit and wound.
It actually works pretty well in this detachment. But like you only have 3 then and you need more, because like that list that you were saying sounds like the starting point essentially of like you have to have like 6 or 7 and then you figure out what you do.
So Brad, I take issue with your placement. Only reason is because I, for the moral reason, put sisters above where I wanted them to be. And I feel like for the same moral reasons, we have to be in the same tier with this one, despite the fact that you have spoken nothing but truth so far.
I feel like the moral reason is to bring it down in this case, but sure. I guess we'll counterbalance the morality of the sisters placement.
Correct. We did not take the moral position for sisters. We will not take the moral position for Custodes.
Fuck Custodes players. They can waste some money like the rest of us have.
You are completely correct. My buddy 3D printed the Forge World Dreadnoughts, but then put the Contemptor weapons on them, and they look a million years better.
Yeah, that sounds right. But like this detachment, it's a unique style of playing Custodes and it's cool. And I think they did a good job of like not only balancing internally of like you're going to make a unique list, but like the strats are going to be useful for most of them. And the fact that you can turn 2 of your walker models into characters and give them these enhancements is such a ridiculously cool idea. If only Telemons weren't dumb looking.
And to make this extremely topical, the FAQ for these came out today, so our next up in line, Adeptus Mechanicus here. AdMech lost one of the funny things of giving Canis Rex the bonuses.
Very funny.
It didn't say it had to be an AdMech model at first.
Yeah, so AdMech, we've got a neat thing going on, I guess.
Yeah, this one's hard for me because, like, I kind of don't like the detachment very much, but when compared to AdMech's detachments, it's probably still one of the more interesting ones.
Oh, really? I actually really like this attachment. Am I the hot take here?
No, I don't know how much other AdMech players like this, but, like, anything that only buffs 2 units with these small, like, upgrades is like, eh.
I'm glad that you said that because I was starting to get a little confused if we were talking about Imperial Knights or if we were actually talking about AdMech, but we're actually talking about AdMech. Got it.
Yes, because AdMech used to have a stipulation that said the Halo override could be used on models in your army.
Yeah.
So people would advance and charge Canis Rex because he was in the army, which was very funny.
They were actually using Canis Rex in...
Yeah.
All right.
We're talking Halo's Creed.
It was very unintended.
It was also cool, though.
I think this is a solid detachment.
I guess. Because it's AdMech, it's definitely just injecting variety tier. There's no way you can say it's not.
I think the main thing for me that I like about it is that, yeah, it doesn't affect your whole army, but it's so AdMech to just crank and twist the little clockwork on the people that you need for the thing that you need them for. And having that big toolbox is just quite nice, you know? Plus, it's specific breakpoints. You know, like, hey, I know that my opponent has las cannons or something, and I have a T11 something. Now it's T12.
What AdMech T11 is it? ? quick?
I don't know, Doomcrawler?
That was a good one, man. I don't know if that's true or not, but like maybe.
I don't know either, but that's just an example. Like, oh, it's the Skitarii something or another. Now they're T4 because there's a bunch of las guns coming their way. And, you know, just having these things to turn on when you need it is just really cool. You're like, all right, add the radiation chip and fry the Skitarii brains. Now they're advancing. It's just kind of fun.
I feel like this one was reasonably well thought out. You can also run Castellan robots in this because there is an enhancement that lets you still use your army.
Yeah, the first enhancement that gives Castellan robots their whole detachment as an enhancement in this one, I both simultaneously like it because it makes this more open and despise it because it's like, I just want you to errata Castellan robots to not need the damn detachment and rewrite that one detachment.
Oh yeah, no, this honestly, Halo Screed seems like just better cohort Cybernetica unless you were like, I want to run a full list of Castellan robots. And that's like, all right, fine, you have your option. But like, I'm glad that they have this as an option. You can run your Castellan robots and they'll be good in this. You get the option of giving them an extra 2 inches to movement and they're getting the Doctrina imperatives. The strats are solid as well, just generally good.
And while we're showing stuff on screen on YouTube for those who want to read it, the reason we're not taking the time to read all of these, by the way, is Bricky, would you like to tell them how long it takes to read aloud all 30 detachments?
I mean, it's like 3 to 4 hours to go through the whole thing. It was so awful. My voice was genuinely hoarse by the end of it because it just wouldn't stop talking.
So, yeah, we're just going to assume you can read the screen if you're unfamiliar with the detachment, and we will give you the general gist of it.
I like this one. I don't think it's as good as Cohort because having army-wide stealth is just disgusting, but I do like it, and I would put variety into it.
All right, well, Brad, are we going to go to Aeldari or are you going to switch it up?
No. We can do this completely random order we came up with. Let's do Aeldari. I actually think this is, like, strength-wise, pretty damn good.
Are you joking?
What?
Are you high?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the worst Grotmas detachments.
I absolutely despise this one. It's so terrible.
It's great because it's Eldar suffering.
He's being that kind of guy.
I actually didn't expect you to like get defensive of it. I was gonna slow roll. I thought you would be, of everyone, the one to go in on that joke.
No, there's a certain line. This is garbage.
Yeah, like I don't like Eldar, but this sucks.
This is absolutely written at gunpoint. I actually feel a little bad for Eldar players on this one. We haven't seen the codex yet, but this is a very bad detachment compared to the one they originally had.
Why this exists.
It doesn't really do anything.
No.
You are trading reroll a hit and a wound roll for this. It's laughable.
I don't give a shit about getting assault on my vehicle that moves 14 inches.
That already moves 14 fly.
Assault is not bad to have, but I don't fucking care about it in a detachment rule.
Where am I moving it on a 60 by 44 board that I needed to advance this vehicle and shoot it?
Yeah, it's insane. And like the enhancements don't change these thoughts. The strats are fine. They're just like, you can't just have strats that are fine and be a detachment. Truly written at gunpoint.
All right, moving from one end of the spectrum to what I consider the dead middle of it, but you could make an argument for it if you so wish, Bricky.
Yeah, Guard, I know where this goes without a question. Do you know where it goes?
It goes in model bait / sad soup.
You are an insane individual.
I mean, it kind of is model bait. It's a very focused on Tempestus.
How many Tempestus units do you think the average person owns?
I own 30.
That's it.
Units?
And I don't have a single Aquilon.
I didn't even know about the Aquilon until I was reading this. I was like, there's only command squads and scions, right? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, right. It's the kill team.
Oh, Aquilon's the new kill team guy. That's exactly why these got made.
No, dude, the Aquilons are good, don't get me wrong, but this was made with a 10 brick and Scion command squad.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, it's not even just good with that. It's good with all infantry because all infantry gets reroll ones to hit. Also, it has the funniest stratagem ever, the on my position one, where you just blow your own dudes up to take guys with you.
Okay, that one strat is hilarious. I get that like some of the strats say just general infantry and like one of the enhancements works on anything, but I can't get over the fact that it's pushing so hard for you to go buy scions right now.
I don't think you understand. Okay, so here's the thing, because we compare this to Custodes, right? There are so many scion focused list people out out there. They love this shit. There are so many guard players I know who would run double Valkyrie, 4 Toroxes, 3 Torox Primes, and just Scion in, because they want to play the Spec Ops dudes. They love this. And also, in terms of power, this is a 5-star pull detachment.
Oh no, this one is ridiculous. The fact that Scions can be led by 2 means that you can throw the command squad and a Psyker in there, and the Psyker gets the buffs.
All right, I'll be argued up to at least it being variety.
Brad, no, this is a 5-star pull.
You think it is?
So the first week this came out, it had a 70% win rate.
I'm not worried about the win rate, though. I'm worried about the design.
It's super fun. If you're building a Scion detachment, it's fantastic. It has all the things you could ever want. I think if you're building a Scion detachment, this is perfect.
Sure.
You got the 6-inch deep strike, you got the Valkyrie strat, you got the kill myself strat, always fun. You got the extra AP on your hot shots, you get your first turn deep strike strat. You know, they even did the thing they never do, which is like, here's your reroll ones to hit. But Scions already get that. So here's your extra Scion thing. It's kind of there, man.
They cooked with this one. Yeah, no, I think this is... I'm okay with 5-star pull. I feel like maybe there's some bias, but this is a really cool detachment.
It's also just really good.
I'll let the IG player be the one to rate it.
Hey, when we get to 1,000 Suns, I'll help you put it in written at gunpoint, okay?
Trust me, we'll get there.
I'll hold your hand as we walk into the lake.
We'll talk about it. Next up, we've got Black Templars being the first of the Space Marine special snowflakes here. It's at least variety. I honestly think it's just 5-star.
No, really?
Wait, really?
It gives them a second. They only have an index right now. Anyone who's only got an index, you have to have a low fucking bar.
This is worse than the index.
But it's at least variety, and it has an interesting flavor to it.
No.
Yeah, because it's the battlefield-wide litanies. It's literally like your 9th edition litanies as a battlefield-wide effect to show off how, like, faithful these fuckers are.
There is, like, not a single chaplain thing here.
Oh, you're saying enhancement-wise? There's one chaplain enhancement, but...
One.
That's pretty strong.
It is strong.
I'm actually shocked. I think this thing sucks. I think the model, it's model bay or sad soup or even wasted potential. I really didn't like this one.
I mean, I don't agree with like 5-star pull.
I think Black Templars shouldn't be written. I think this is the best thing you could ever ask for them.
I can't put them up just because they're getting something that isn't their index. Like that means then like half of these are going to get injecting variety then.
I do believe that. I think this list is going to be top heavy because so many people are rotting, and Grotmas is actually like improving the state of this game a lot by giving you a literal choice.
My only concern with the injecting variety on this one is how different this is actually gonna play.
Yeah, because they're both just nothing, just buff your generic dudes.
I enjoy the flavor, but if we rip it down to the actual core mechanics...
Is it different enough, or is it 2 variations of the same thing? At which point, I could see us putting it in wasted potential.
It's 2 variations of the same thing, man. I enjoy it, but I think it's wasted potential.
I'll lose the argument on this one, but when we get out of the fucking Imperium and start talking about good factions that I give a shit about. Speaking of factions that I give a shit about, let's not talk about these Blood Angels. Where are they going? I'll trust you. Just say anywhere and we'll move on.
I mean, in terms of strength, I think they're a top 5, but they also just run at you really hard. So I'm good with injecting variety just to appease you.
It's the same as like 3 other detachments they can run.
Yeah, it's run at them and beat the crap out of you, but in a slightly different way.
Yeah. I literally don't care. It does the job.
Yep.
I'm sorry that I yanked you down for Black Templars, but in exchange, I'll yank down Blood Angels, despite the fact that they are probably like one of the best attachments that they added.
Yeah, Blood Angels is strong, but like, Jesus Christ, is it not interesting?
Yeah.
We're looking at this tier list a little differently in that case. I do think some general power needs to be there, at least because it's fun to be good.
It's more important to be in line with your other options so you're not a mono detachment army again. If you only have one good detachment, you're now stuck with being balanced around that one detachment, which then your army is going to be literally single list for the rest of time.
The other thing is, so long as the core fundamentals and like the core design make sense, there can be tweaks to make it slightly better or worse or whatever.
Like the only reason the AdMech detachment is as high as it is because all AdMech detachments suck balls. So this one equally sucking balls does improve their variety.
Yeah, because like you actually get to play other units.
It may suck slightly less.
We maybe look at it just differently, but oh well. Should we just get on the demons then?
Sure. So this is where I will shine for us. Are we ready to see 5-star polls? Dear fucking God, we got the funnest shit going on in Khorne and Slaanesh. Slaanesh is also crazy strong to boot, but that's not part of my opinion here. Khorne lets you run all sorts of stupid stuff that your average Khorne player slathers over. Slaanesh gives you just a more Slaanesh-focused detachment. It's honestly pretty fine.
All right, so let's go one at a time on that one. Like, Khorne is pretty cool because, like, thematically, it's showing, like, we're just literally charging at the enemy. That's how we're doing this.
Bloodlust. ABC always be charging.
Always be charging. But, like, this is a fun take on how to do that.
I must admit, I don't like the Khorne one very much. Maybe I'm crazy, but like when I read a detachment and I'm like, oh, there's a reactive move. And I'm just like, what if you made it the detachment? I get it, but I don't think they're 5-star polls. I think Khorne is injecting variety. Like, I just don't think it's that high. Slaanesh, though, full agreement. I'm in the 5-star poll era. The whole like, hey, I charged you, but I'm not gonna fight you yet. Come over here, give mama a kiss, and then you just beat their ass is lovely.
Slaanesh is probably, from a design standpoint, my favorite detachment out of all of these.
I don't agree, but I respect that take. I get it.
I also think that this is going to be one of the largest bait detachments for newer players because holy shit, is this a difficult fucking detachment to properly use.
That doesn't matter. Slaanesh as an army is a finesse army. It's already one of the most difficult to pilot. If you want an easier melee demon army, you play Khorne. If you want to be a sweat, you play Slaanesh.
This takes it almost too far. I kind of love it. Like I said, I love this detachment, but goddamn, dude.
No, the type of person who likes Slaanesh will love this detachment. I argue the type of person who likes Khorne loves the Khorne detachment.
There was only like one miss in the Slaanesh, and that was the sensory excruciation. I just think it's bad, and they need to understand that Battle Shock doesn't fucking work.
You say that, but the next one coming up has done surprisingly well.
And it is the worst fucking detachment.
You're so wrong. I've never heard a man so wrong before.
Plague Legion is the lowest tier, the worst detachment on this list. It has like a 65% win rate.
No, I thought it's awesome. I love the concept.
No, it's fucking ass.
Man.
There is no flavor to this. None of this is Nurgle. The Slaanesh one is Slaanesh. The Khorne one is Khorne. The Tzeentch one is so Tzeentch that it adds a whole fucking extra mechanic to the game. The Nurgle one was shat out, and that's the closest I can get to something that is thematic.
I disagree. I think the slow, general, like creeping, melancholic attrition just feels fun. Just like the sheer presence of Nurgle brings down the entire environment over and over again. I kind of like it.
I think it's wasted potential because it's so close for me to being like, oh yeah, this is the slow rotting decay.
I don't even think it's close. I think it's a huge miss on trying to be that mechanic.
Okay, so a clear in between here. I would put it at like model bait soup middle. That's where I would put it. I don't think it's as good as the others in terms of a creation standpoint, in terms of design standpoint, but I do kind of like it. I like the strategy. I like the weirdness of it, but I will admit it does pale in comparison to the other three.
All right, I'll say wasted potential, but it is viscerally so fucking bad. Like looking at the 4 demons and seeing how well treated 3 of them were design wise, and then this piece of shit.
There's a lot of ideas here, I think, that are very, very close. Honestly, the detachment rule just needs to be more flavorful than Shadows of Chaos.
That I'm fine with.
Like, let's actually talk about fucking Miasma and Nurgle as opposed to Shadow of Chaos.
That's a core part of the design though, Bricky. If your detachment rule is a nothing, it doesn't matter if you have broken stratagems to spam. Your static ability that you've chosen is a literal 0.
We said the exact same thing about Sisters, and it's in the same tier as Nurgle. I like it more than the Sisters one personally.
Would you like it more than Sisters if Sisters still had miracle dice?
Probably not.
That's the thing, is like that's the only reason Sisters is up above Written at Gunpoint, is because I honestly think those are 2 unrelated horrible things at once.
Agreed, but can we just put Tzeentch in S tier and move on?
Yes, Tzeentch is fine 5-star pull. It is the worst of the 4, statistically speaking, but who gives a fuck? This is the Zinchiest thing to ever exist. Let's fucking go.
Whoever made this attachment rule was just the most fun individual. He clearly brings the booze. He's the guy who invites GW to barbecues. Love this guy.
Whoever wrote the Tzeentch detachment rule needs to write all Tzeentch stuff. They understand. This is a person who gets the type of person who buys Tzeentch shit. They want their brain to hurt after the first 3 turns of the game and to be smiling about it. I love it. So yeah, Demons, I think 3 out of 4 are fantastic. Fuck the Nurgle detachment. I don't care how good it is.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited. Like, Tzeentch is one of those, I could see some people not enjoy playing against it, but goddamn do I actually want to play against this. Like, the mind game that is being played on top of the normal game.
And it's the, like, double layered of it looks like a fair game, but then the Tzeentch player has rules to manipulate it to not ever be a fair game.
Yeah, and like always generating more on their term, and like there's also just like fun stuff in there as well. Like pyrogenesis seems naughty. I get it's 2 CP, but like
flamers. Ooh.
Yeah.
I love me flamers, but it's fine. So anyway, moving more into chaos, we have Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights got sad soup.
I was torn between sad soup and injecting variety, because the whole like, come here slave, you're gonna make my guns better is really funny.
Yeah.
I would have honestly bumped it just for meme value if the FAQ hadn't come out today. But the fact that you cannot eat your opponent's cultists is such a fail.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
It was such a funny corner case. Just let us have it. It was funny.
That's funny. That like
it just cared that the unit was damn nearby. You could just sacrifice your opponent's stuff for dark rituals. They're cultists. Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which army they came with. They're a cultist.
Oh, that's good.
But they got rid of it, and it was so cool. So yeah, now it's just a soup detachment.
All right, I guess. I suppose.
I don't think this is a bad soup detachment.
It's fine. It's one of the least offensive ones. There's one that I love that we'll get to shortly, but most of them are like, meh. You did this because you had to make one for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some actual effort put into this one, but it sucks because, like, I feel like if it was pushed a little bit more, we could actually, like, defend bringing a large knight with the infantry screen and, like, do some fun stuff other than just dog spam.
Wait, Eric, do you hear that?
What?
Oh my god. Is that Fabius Bile with the steel chair? Walking his ass directly to S tier for the 5-star pulls, baby.
God damn, is he ever. I was so waiting for you to be like, actually, competitively it's shit, so I hate it.
Hell no. I don't give a shit about that part. I mean, like, if it's not good, I'll bring it down like a tier. I don't care about that. This is awesome, man. This is so fun.
It's the fucking greatest.
Apparently Tzeentch isn't the best either, but...
Yeah, you got a pretty decent codex. And then you add on an amazing Grotmas detachment.
You know, Bile, it might not be like top level or anything, but honestly, it's just so fun.
It's with Tzeentch to me of, I don't care if it's even slightly under 50% win rate. This is one that you play specifically because of how fucking fun it's going to be to play it.
This dude rolls up with 30 possessed and was like, I've read all 3 Bile books. Let's go. I'm going to roll 2 dice and roll them again. Let's have a great time. It's genuinely just super fun. Plus it has an advance and charge stratagem, so therefore it's like already above most other books.
Bricky, if they read all 3 Bile books, they would never bring Possessed.
My 30 chosen.
There we go.
Dude, yeah, you guys keep saying, like, expecting this to be bad. I just don't see how this is bad, man. This fucking seems good.
No, it's great.
Yeah, there is some, like, randomness going on, but, like, that's why you're taking Fabius Bile. Technically, you could play this without him, but like...
I forget who it was. Some dude was like, walk up with Fabius Bile attachment. Don't bring Fabius Bile. Pick the +1 ballistic skill. 15 Havocs. 30 Noise Marines. 6 Obliterators.
Like, yeah.
What a loser.
Go for it. And I'm like, it's so like ironic, Giga Chat. I'm almost okay with it.
Yeah, like there's a certain commitment to that all right, fine.
All right, where are we putting Dark Angels as none of us care?
I actually think it's pretty fun.
I think it's variety because, like, it's not the best, but also their detachments aren't the best unless they go generic.
Yeah, it's like Primum with the Deathwing. No, not them. Ravenwing.
Isn't it so fucking confusing?
But like, I don't know. It's fine. Like, it's a cool concept. It may not be as good, but I like the whole, multiple talons. One starts, the other one attacks after that. Like, yeah, no, it's not bad.
I think this one's great for injecting variety just because, like, you actually get to play your Ravenwing and Deathwing as, like, a combined force. I mean, like, you're probably taking just generic detachments if you want to win, which is disappointing, but, like, whatever.
Can we all agree that Death Guard is wasted potential? It's, like, the most boring as fuck detachment.
Yeah, I do find the whole, like, 30 Terminators just on the board going forward. It's funny, but, like, it's not great.
It doesn't change anything for what you were doing already.
It fits the theme.
Yeah, but it's not
in any like new and exciting way.
Look, here's the hope for you Death Guard players. If this was made with the Codex in mind, and they wrote your second generic boring infantry generalist detachment, maybe the Codex is so full of flavorful detachments they couldn't think of anything.
That's such cope. That's so much cope.
It's important to have copium in large quantities when you play Death Guard.
I do find a little bit of humor in like how can we all have stealth? It's just like you have so many flies just covering you. It's kind of a goofy concept, but
then what's the Scout 5?
They're carrying you they're lifting you in the air.
I don't hate this. It's just weird, and the rest of it doesn't change anything else.
Again, we don't even have like a mechanized detachment for them, and a lot of their rules got stuck to their detachment to fix them, which is even more confusing because since it's not an army rule, you lose your fixes to your balance because they got attached to your detachment instead of your army rule. It's so weird.
Like, how do you play Death Guard without play company detachment rule fixing your fundamental rule? Then we get to Scout 5 and Stealth.
The Death Guard hope right now is that this was made with the Codex in mind, and the Codex makes this more interesting.
Deathwatch, let's put them in injecting variety just for the simple fact that they're literally alive again.
Bricky didn't watch our episode last week.
Brad wants to put them at gunpoint.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think like even if you reanimate a corpse, the fact that it's alive matters more than the fact that it's a corpse walking around.
So here's my problem. I think of all of them, this is the most literal written at gunpoint.
Oh, you went the full moral written at gunpoint.
This was them literally writing an index going, oh fuck, we can't actually delete Deathwatch. They have pipe bombs.
Yeah, and then they came up with this, and it's like, technically exists now.
I will admit,
you fucked up.
I never fuck up. However, sometimes when I speed read something I don't care about, I skip a word that's in the middle of a 5 million foot long paragraph.
And it's slightly important.
And it was slightly important. So yeah, you can indeed run normal agents in your Deathwatch list. Oops. It does make me hate this a lot less. I really despised it on last week's episode.
I mean, you can put it wherever the hell you want. I could care less.
It probably deserves to be an injecting variety, but I do think spiritually this is the most written in gunpoint detachment.
Okay, so we've taken the moral thing and adjusted it by a tier. Do we want to put it back down to model bait / sad soup instead of unlike sisters that we morally put it up one?
No, because that's not how these work, and it hurts my head to think of doing that.
Damn it. Okay, I see that you've put Reaper's Wager in S tier, and I'd like to extend my hand and congratulate you, sir, for one of the coolest attachments they've ever made.
So this is the one that I was going to say of the soup detachments. Drukhari's soup detachment is the only one that elevated itself entirely to the stratosphere. It doesn't matter that this detachment is just bait to make you buy Harlequins, which it is.
This is absolutely model bait.
This is absolutely model bait / soup. That's what it is.
It's both of them.
But it is written so fucking well that I don't know any Drukhari players who weren't like, I wanted something for my witches, or I wanted something for my covens. However, this is cool as fuck.
I think there's always going to be some people who have no interest in any of the soup detachments, no matter how cool they are, because it's like, I don't play that other army. I play Drukhari. That's all I want. But that's fine.
Yeah, I don't own Harlequins. I'm not going to buy them. My brother owns them, so technically anyway, just borrow them. But I'm not going to buy Harlequins for this detachment. But that being said, this is cool as fuck.
Me looking at the 3D printer being like, a solitaire with reroll ones to hit and wound, moving 19 million inches and demolishing something in the back line is just really funny.
Just the entire, like, the way that Drukhari and Harlequins are.
They're playing a fucking game and you're just literally acting as like something for them to play with.
It's so Harlequin of like jumping through hoops in a random game on top of something else, and finicky and dumb and perfect.
And it's specifically very Drukharian Harlequin because they're gambling. They're barely aware of you as the opponent who walked up to the table. They don't fucking care. They're playing against each other right now. You are literally nothing to them.
You're the scenery of their game. It's so well done. And like the detachment itself is pretty well balanced. Like,
I think Reaper's Wager, if every soup detachment was this tier, no one would complain about soup detachments. God damn.
Speaking of soup detachments.
Yeah, this is a soup detachment through and through. Genestealers, woof. Sorry.
I don't mind it a ton.
It sucks because it's so limited in addition and they don't get their rules, so it's even more fucking stupid. And
Wait, what do you mean they don't get their rule? They get their rule.
they get their rule. So long as you actually have a unit with synapse. It's just not all of the invaders have synapse.
Sure. I mean, oh, yes. Okay. You mean it by that way. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, Genestealer Cults still get to come back. I thought you meant like their army rule.
But no. Tyranids don't get their rules.
Yes, they don't get their shadow in the warps and stuff like that.
Because Tyranids don't have access to any of their shit, they're a lot worse. And you're only allowed to bring certain ones to begin with. And it's like, yes, you can bring a flying hive tyrant. We all did that. But like, other than the one thing,
Nah, Neurolictor would be neat.
It's okay. I like the theming. I do like, because, the Star Children and everything like that, and that little Vanguard invasion.
It's just very unfortunate that like Genestealers was already we don't have enough detachments and one is a fucking soup detachment. That used to just be part of the rules. It didn't need a detachment. And now we get an extra detachment. Oh, it's the other soup detachment.
Okay, so I'm with you. Like, this is fine. Middle is fine.
This is exactly what the soup detachment, like this is the soup detachment of. They literally didn't even want to write a Genestealer Cult one. They were just like, oh, I guess we'll do the soup thing so that they can play with Tyranids. Done.
So what are we doing with the most overpowered detachment in the entire Grotmas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're not to Orks and Space Marines. So, Grey Knight Purifier spam. How we feeling?
I mean, I think it is absolutely disgusting and should get nerfed, and maybe will at some point, because I think it's actually better than release Star Shatter. Like, that's how hot my take is.
Did you see the FAQs today, Bricky?
I saw a Star Shatter getting nerfed. Did Grey Knights get anything?
No, I wanted to make sure you were aware Star Shatter got nerfed 3 different fucking ways.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, it got pounded.
I haven't seen how, but it probably deserved it.
I still think it's S tier. It is still the best thing, but we'll get to that. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. But anyway, back to Grey Knights.
I don't see this getting nerfed unless I'm like really off base, just because you lose out so much of how Grey Knights is currently winning, which is point control, like just board jumping around and grabbing points and objectives and that kind of stuff. I get that like this lets you actually like stand your ground and blow shit up. I don't think that's a winning play as strong as you are putting it out there, Ev.
I think it's Dread Knights.
Is this like blowing up tournaments right now?
I don't know. I didn't quite check. Grey Knights don't have a huge presence right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like middle of the road, but I was happy for Eric because Eric loves Purifier spam. This is an ideal Eric detachment. Eric's going to want to put this top of the top.
Yeah.
See, it's just a couple of things. For example, right? You get reroll ones to hit for your entire army naturally, innately. And then if you're in your Shadow of Chaos or whatever, it's full rerolls to hit, or if you're within 6 of a Purifier squad, including said Purifier squad.
Yeah.
And then you have a 1 CP strat to give yourself full rerolls to wound with your Purifier squad. And at that point, you basically just have a like full rerolls to hit and wound Purifier squad.
Yeah.
Yep, it's gross.
And like Crow was already like, oh, you could take a Purifier squad with Crow and like it'll be fine.
Yeah, that was debatable, especially early in the edition of like 1 Purifier squad maxed out with Crow is like a piece you can throw in a Grey Knight list. It's not the most competitive thing ever, but it's fine.
This takes that very far.
Also, I should note that if you run Crow and your big squad of Purifiers, you get that 1 CP strat, which is every single time anyone ends a normal move within 6 of the whole squad, adding 2 to the result because you're a Purifier, they take D3 mortal wounds on a 2-up.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely something that it like interests me in playing Grey Knights again. I'm totally on board. This is fucking cool.
I'm okay with injecting variety if that's where we want to put this in.
I think that's what it is.
But we can move it to 5-star poll because it is our tier list and we all kind of wanted to put it there anyway.
I mean, it's really good.
The problem is like most lists are still just gonna be Dread Knight heavy. Like, if you're trying to win, you just still play Dread Knight.
You do still just play Dread Knights, yes.
But you don't have to, and it gives you a reason to run all your Purifiers.
You do have to play them if you're going to try to win. But, like...
What's hilarious, though, is that it's a 6-inch aura around the Purifier, so you could just run, like, a couple 5-man batteries and then full reroll your Dread Knights.
That's the, like, competitive way to do it.
That was the one thing that, like, I think I would say 5-star poll if I could have Purifiers battle lined.
Yeah, that is a bit of a strange thing, isn't it?
Fuck, they would be 5-star poll, no, like, we're playing Grey Knights this weekend, Brad.
You didn't come over last weekend. Could have played with us last weekend, Eric.
Yeah, but we weren't playing Grey Knights last weekend, so...
Eric had other shit to do.
Let's just get... Hey, look, it was written at Vindicare Assassin point.
Yeah, the Imperial Agents is... Wow. You made a detachment to give a relic to shit.
It's neat idea.
No, it ain't.
It's kind of a neat idea. It's just a waste of a detachment.
Okay. Let me try to translate this. I am happy they bothered, but I kind of wish they didn't.
There we go. The perfect review of this detachment.
Because back in 9th, assassins had stratagems that you could use for them when you brought them into your army. I wish they just gave the assassins the option to use the stratagems that are for them and the enhancement should you want to upgrade them when you put them in your army.
No, that'd be too complicated. We're trying to make things easier and simpler. This is 10th edition.
Okay, Zinchian detachment. If we can't praise the Zinch one and then say no on that one, but this one does suck. It's awful.
I don't hate this idea as a way to do that kind of thing, but it's such a slap in the face compared to everything else.
Bricky, my dear friend.
Yeah, I just put it in gunpoint, dude.
Oh, all the way down there?
The Votann one?
No. Imperial Knights. I just moved it.
My bad.
If you try to argue Imperial Knights is not just a fucking mandatory soup detachment, it's so uninspired.
Both knights lost like tilt ion shield and that should
rotate.
Be like armor. Yeah, rotate, whatever. That should be like the armor of contempt for knights. Like everyone should have that in there.
And like true silver for Grey Knights, right? Like where sorry, what?
You have enough good toys in that detachment though. It can have the exception.
Your whole army is 2-up saves, you're fine.
This is an example of like bringing up rotate ion shields is the example of what I talked about before we got the Grotmas detachments, where I mentioned my worries for Thousand Suns of if you have your index has your staple always using these defensive utility strats, you better hope to God you're a Space Marine where you get that in every detachment, or all of your other detachments are going to be not arguable anymore. When we get to Thousand Suns, it kind of exacerbates the issue in multiple angles, but yeah, that's kind of the thing with both Knights too, is this is just, it's not a flashy detachment that makes you excited to begin with, and then it loses core tools.
Anyway, put Votann in gunpoint, okay? Written at call point.
Yeah, it's so bad. I get that it's like, they don't have much yet, but Jesus Christ, you didn't even try.
They have the death card problem, where the thing that makes them decent is the putting all the tokens on stuff, but that's not part of their army rule, that's part of their detachment rule.
And even if it wasn't for that problem, god damn, this is an uninspiring detachment, just like with Chaos Demons, just like with Death Guard.
It's about calls.
It has zero, like, the flavor is Hearthband. Calls lead people. No shit. Captains lead Space Marines. We don't have captain detachment. We have 500 goddamn flavors, and they still haven't made that low tier of one.
Actually, we do have captain detachment. It's the Blood Angels one.
They don't count.
It's funny too, because like Votann is just the most like regular Warhammer army out there. They play the most Warhammer ever. They are so basic and simple. You have stats and they do things. But like they even wrote this horribly. It's shocking.
Well, I mean, like a lot of that is because they have such a small range still that like any list that you make that's legal has to be fairly balanced, which in and of itself is like a call focused detachment doesn't work. I don't know, man. It just seems bad.
Necrons, on the other hand, 5-star pull, one of the best additions. Dear fucking God. I don't even care about the nerfs.
Do you like it though? Okay, so I gotta be honest, Brad, because
It's obviously strong.
it's extremely good, but do you really find it that flavorful?
Yeah, because it brings back Nefrit.
Yeah, but like Mefrit, it's just kind of like vehicle centric. Mefrit's not just vehicles.
We did a whole hour-long episode of me talking about a single parking lot Necron list.
Oh yeah, your bias is shit on this one then.
I like Mefrit. Eric likes purifiers. Mefrit's not even my favorite dynasty, but I really like Necron at a lore level, and 10th has had no goddamn flavor to speak of. They fucked up my destroyer detachment until a year and a half later when it finally got fixed. Thank you. I still remember that you fixed it, but I'm still a little mad about how bad it was when it came out. But goddamn, it feels good to see someone writing Necrons who clearly gave a fuck about Necrons.
All right, I won't argue with it. I think it's a little just like ball of stats.
It is, but look, I'll fucking take it right now. The Necron Codex was ass. It has taken like 4 fucking rewrites. Only AdMech gets to hold something over our heads.
All right, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, obviously you're gonna play a bunch of Doomsday Arcs.
I'm actually happy that it got nerfed.
So that it's like still playable, maybe.
No. It's a lot worse now. It was one of those like, I rate things that are too strong lower if like it's too strong, therefore it's going to fuck up your balance so you never get a choice again. This is better than having that one detachment you must always run, AdMech Skitarii. You don't want to be that. You want it where it's more in line balance-wise with what we have, and now you get to choose your flavor of the week.
Yeah, I guess this does open up new lists that you can do.
We had no reason to play a parking lot list. There was no vehicle detachment unless you want to get clever and try to say the fucking Hypercrypt Legion because monoliths are technically vehicles.
Kinda, yeah. And like you would play some vehicles with it maybe and it'd be like, okay, but that's not what that detachment was for.
So now you can say you like this and you're not just a dirty meta chaser, you just like the vehicles. Anyway, Orks.
Shall we have them join the Orks in S tier?
Yes, Orks and Necrons, what winners?
Dude, holy shit, man. Ignoring how good I think this actually is, this is some of the best flavor ever.
It is my possible favorite of factions I don't play.
I fucking love playing guard.
I absolutely adore the fact that it's just like Blood Axe leaders bellow actual orders to the lads under their command. Order, get on with it. Like, what fan, like, just incredible.
It's a joy to read this detachment. You and I came up with 2 detachments that you could add to the Ork Codex. This is neither of them, which just proves how many different ways you could make Orks work.
Everything about this detachment is so awesome. It even has the Stormboy battle line.
Which is something I feel was underutilized in a lot of these. I don't know if they were trying not to make it a meme where they just slapped battle line on everything, but I do feel like a couple of these detachments would be a tier higher than they are if they just gave battle line to something.
Just let the people do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love this. This is like dripping with flavor. It seems extremely fun to actually play, and I don't think it's bad. I honestly, I don't know how good it actually is going to end up being.
It's very good. It's one of the highest performing detachments.
That would kind of make sense.
Dude, this is, again, it's just like with the Ork Codex, where there were so many good things in that codex flavor-wise, and we were like, it doesn't even matter if they nerf it, because at least the flavor will be good.
Yeah.
It's, again, like, they just keep winning with these detachments. If everything felt like it was made with this much love, god damn, I'd be loving 10th.
This also just, like, opens up more list ideas. Like, also, like, I'm thinking of, like, Flash Gits and Storm Boys together. Also with Commandos and Boss Necron. And, it's just chef kiss.
I will say, say I am a little salty that they just gave an enhancement for the exact same thing that Captain Badruck was before they slaughtered him. But, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of flavor, Space Marines, they have Psychic, and they don't just have like Psychic, they have real Rogue Trader era Psychic disciplines and spells. I'm sorry, Eric.
No, I'm happy.
I'm sorry, Eric.
I'm happy that Space Marine players get to enjoy Psychic.
Just think, they're not even the Psychic Power Armor guys. Imagine how good your Codex must look.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be able to do, what was it, like 22 or 24 mortal wounds or whatever. Fucking insanity the librarian's able to get up to in this thing.
Get those copium tanks full and just start huffing them the second they announce that Grey Knight Codex. Full range refresh.
Fuck off.
Complete rewrite of your index rules.
Yeah.
Psychic is back, baby. Dual release with Thousand Suns again. Announcing Psychic entering the edition proper. Fantastic fun times ahead. Definitely not just Space Marines getting a 24th amazing, fun, different way to play their army.
So here's the thing. Okay, you put him in S tier. Okay, I was actually considering maybe injecting variety, but I do really like the Psychic.
I think we all like this detachment. I think the only knock against this detachment is that it's Space Marine's 26th fucking detachment.
That is partially kind of one of the things that I was thinking of. And also the Stern Guard thing is something that everyone does whine about a bit, but it's really not that bad. It happens like once and then they all die because they're Space Marine bodies that just aren't that tanky nowadays.
Also, when it's not a balance issue, I like those things. I like when people read the detachment for the first time and go, I thought of something unfair. And then you go play it and it was good but not broken and you're like, I'm so clever.
I did the thing and it was so fun. I mean, I still lost the game, but like, holy shit, it was close and I did the thing. That was awesome.
Yeah, and that's how I felt with the Catan Index, the whole thing where they made the only Catan that could equip an enhancement be the one that cost the most points. And I was like, you knew what you were doing. You just wanted me to feel special when I figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, this detachment is just great. It adds an entire like new style of play and it does it in such a just brilliant way that I don't think it can be anything other than 5-star pull.
It's totally model bait though.
A little bit. The librarians aren't like underutilized.
You play Space Marines, you have 5 of them anyway.
Yeah.
You have 15 of each character.
So wasted potential for the wolves, we thinking?
I was honestly, just like with like Black Templars, I had them at injecting variety on my private tier list that I made myself.
Really?
Space Wolves, to me, their base detachment sucks ass, and this is a different way to play it.
Really?
This is also like mediocre as fuck. Do you like the Terminator spam playing your old school Wolf Guard from 1994?
This is wild to me, man. I actually think Champions of Rust is an absolutely awesome detachment.
After the 4th rewrite?
Oh yeah, no, currently. Not back then. Right now, I think it's awesome. Because it is, it's very Space Wolf. You sing of sagas, you make a name for yourself, the oral stories of the Vikings, and this one just kind of feels like model bait, give or take. Run your Terminators.
I agree, but at the same time, having spoken to our Space Wolf player locally, to defend Space Wolf players, they always try to argue something I disagree with lore-wise, of Space Wolves should always have the OBSEC and the counter-charging stuff because they're supposed to be the big defender guys. I'm like, what fucking lore do Space Wolf players read? Because it's not the same lore everyone else reads. But they've always had that 8th and 9th edition. They had the stupid heroic intervention shtick and the OBSEC shtick. It was like them and Custodes both had the same thing going on with that defensively. This is an era where we had 15 more rules per faction per game.
I was gonna say, do we actually enjoy that for the detachment rule? Because I'm fucking bored with it.
I don't care.
I guess I don't care. It's true, but like,
my argument is just for, I know there's going to be Space Wolf players who are like, what are you talking about? The fact that we've got our heroic intervention detachment is very important to the lore of my very honorable, never destroyed a planet Space Wolves.
I feel like the main detachment was one of the most flavorful ones we got when 10th launched. It just was bad, and now it's not bad, and I like it. And the new one is whatever, so I don't care.
I have to say, the original detachment is far more interesting. And also you have access to every generic Space Marine detachment. So you've got a lot to fight with this one. I'm fine with wasted potential for it, but I would say that I've got a lower bar, given that this will be their 5th detachment by the time their codex comes out for just Space Wolves, plus all of the ones they get access to, including like Librarius and shit, that it's fine that this one's like just for the guy who really likes his Space Wolf Terminator cosplays. We can put in wasted potential, but this is the one that I actually understand who it's for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You can put it wherever you want to.
Yeah.
All right, Tau. Tau is model bait. Tau is we made a kill team that has an insect guy in it. Go play him.
Ooh, I'm actually in the variety tier for Tau.
I think so as well.
You guys both?
Like, obviously, there's some bait going on with it, but it's good enough.
You also, I think, pushed the bait too hard if they didn't just refresh the entire Kroot line.
Yeah.
And people did buy those Kroot.
People did buy those.
They really bought those Kroot.
Eventually, after the 9th month straight of those sitting on the shelf, they finally cleared them off the shelf.
I have fought many a people who have used the Kroot.
I think this is the better way to use Kroot in Tau. As opposed to being like, I'm Kroot.
Yeah. All right, we can go with injecting variety. It's fine. To me, this is exactly what model bait is of what's the newest kill team? Make a detachment for that kill team.
So I would agree, but like Vespids were already a thing before. They just looked terrible. So I think it's just the idea that like for the greater good is supposed to be the Tau's work together rule. And this is a far better work together rule.
I am surprised that you're so down on it because you've always been like, let's push Tau Empire. And like, this is the start.
Here's my thing though. The Tau Codex, how many detachments are in it, Eric?
I don't know, 4.
There's 4. One is Kroot. Did we really need a second auxiliary one? This is Genestealer Cults to me of like, did we need another one of these?
Yeah, but this is Kroot and Vespid, and it works well with everything else. This works well with battlesuits.
This should have been an FAQ to the Kroot one to make it better, not the additional detachment.
But I mean, at that FAQ level, you just removed the Kroot one and put this one in its place.
I agree.
That's
Sure. Let's do
pointless.
I might agree with you more if it wasn't written so well. If the rules weren't so good and so like flavorful.
To me, my problem is they still do not get for the greater good. You have to remember they're still lacking your army roll.
You can give them an enhancement that gives it to them.
1 enhancement for 1 unit.
That's not wrong. You're not wrong on that one. But you're not taking like 1,000. You're taking like 500 or 1,500.
Yeah, you've got like 3 Kroot Rampagers, 3 Vespids, and then maybe one of the character Kroots.
You are correct. I have a different outlook on how I see it for Tau when it's like, there's a lot of stuff that Tau could still have, as I proved on the fucking Adric episode, that none of it was written and they wrote this. It's fine. It is variety. It is okay. It's not bad.
The word proved is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, but a fair point.
You don't get to talk about design ever again after that AdMech detachment, you fucking troll.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was perfect.
And I do after my Ork detachment.
All right. Thousand Sun.
Thousand Suns. Yeah, this is fine. I'm okay with this, man.
All right. So Thousand Suns. For humor for everybody at home who can't see what I did, I pre-threw it and written at gunpoint, but honestly, I just feel it's wasted potential. I don't have malice towards it.
I'm going to leave the room.
There's like an idea that feels like it was almost like the Tzeentch demons. And then they stopped fucking caring.
No, it doesn't feel anything like the Tzeentch Demons. It feels like someone was trying to do the Shadows of Chaos special where Grey Knights got the fucking same thing of like, they tried to, if I had to guess, they made the Grey Knight one, right?
Yeah, I think the Grey Knight one came first.
And then they were like, Thousand Suns versus Grey Knights. We'll try to make the Thousand Sun equivalent of the Grey Knight one, instead of trying to make a Thousand Suns detachment.
Yeah, and then they were like, what does Thousand Suns get? Psychic.
They did psychic attacks. And it's like, did you read the codex?
Do you understand what 10th edition is?
And then they were like, the psychic attack bonus. It's like, did you read Magnus's data sheet?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't know. For now, written at gunpoint's probably right, just from a pure bad standpoint. I don't feel that strongly negatively about this. If we find out in the codex that our flamers are now psychic weapons, this is a very different detachment.
My issue is just the fact that Magnus literally invalidates the whole detachment in a sense.
That's my thing, though, is like, yeah, and I could definitely see an argument for you make detachments so you don't need to take named characters in these limited armies. Because that's one of the things that Thousand Sons players who are into the fucking RP of their guys get annoyed of, like, why do I constantly have to have Magnus be with my specific Thousand Son warband? Why do I have to have Ahriman, who my guys lore-wise had a spat with Ahriman, but for some reason, Ahriman's in every one of my lists to make them functional. I understand for detachments to try to get rid of that, or be like an alternative if you don't want to bring Magnus but get the buff, but I feel like it's missing something else.
Especially if, like, you get to do something else. Okay, you're gonna not take Magnus or Ahriman. What's the thing that you get to do because you're not taking those cool characters, right? And like this has no, like, I guess you get Rubric Marines that can deep strike. You like that, Brad? Is that fun? It actually sounds kind of fun, but like,
it's kind of fun. That's why it's like, I don't have like true malice towards this, but it's so fucking blech. It is kind of funny because people were like, Brad, are you disappointed with the new detachment or do you like it? And I was like, I'm just happy that I get to literally choose something. I got a second detachment. We're like a year from a dead edition. I don't have a fucking codex yet.
The illusion of choice is good.
My floor is so fucking low right now. But anyway. Tyranids. How do you feel about spamming warriors?
But double Doomboat. Okay, can I say something about the Tyranid warrior one? I love it. I love it. Is it model bait? Yes. I love it.
I think it's literally just variety. I have no negative opinion. It's a missing way to play Tyranids in the Codex that is now added. There was no reason to do a warrior heavy list. We have one now. I don't think it's overly flavorful or anything. It's just a good way to get you to play your warriors. Sure.
See, it is to me a purely enjoyment of the player detachment. I had someone very legally purchase, not make 72 warriors for me. And I have them all, and they're beautiful looking.
Those are beautiful prints.
I love them to death. I think it's so fun. This is a pure, like, I'm going to walk up to the table with like 60 plus T5, 3 wound, 5 up info bodies on 50 millimeter bases. I'm going to deploy on the lion. I'm going to flip you 2 birds, and I'm going to go pound a margarita. It's like such a, how can I be a goofy goober and have to think not too much, but a little bit, be decent, but not too much to it's overpowered. Like, I will play Warhammer and I might win, but it's not overpowered. It's like the most middle of the pack fun army, and that's why I like it so much.
It is exactly how I feel about the Khorne detachment for Khorne players.
Oh, I thought you were like burning the Tyranids. You were just
I am equating these two things as like, both of these do exactly like that visceral, I just want to put shit on the line, shove forward, throw a bloodthirster through 6 buildings and just beat the shit out of the closest thing he can find.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a fun time.
I do enjoy that idea, and I hadn't thought of it really before, of like, this detachment does, like, after you've done list building and actual gameplay, it limits you quite a bit because like the melee ones have melee and the ranged ones have ranged. You can't fuck it up.
You really can't. And even the ranged ones have like some okay melee.
Yeah.
But then like I started getting into some theory crafting with this. Like, what if I put some venom thropes next to them, you know? Throw a psychophage for a 6-up feel no pain. What if you slapped a walking hive tyrant? It gives them all assault and lethal hits in range. Like, that's pretty okay. Now you're kind of upping it a little bit, you know? How many wing primes are you putting in there? Like, there is genuine little bits of depth in the 60 warrior detachment.
Right. The little bit of sprinkling that makes it not just like boring.
Yeah, I really like it. I really, really do.
You've sold me on that. I was like, dude, this is fucking wasted potential. But no, I'm on board.
And it's a lesser form to me of the Ork one feeling like I could name 2 other Tyranid detachments that the Codex didn't have, and like you could still add them.
Yeah.
And I feel like Orks and Tyranids have that feeling to me of these factions have so much depth to them that is still untapped.
They're like reasonably fleshed out factions. Shocking how that works.
I know. So speaking of fleshed out factions, Eric, let's talk. Oh.
World leaders, how you doing there?
I feel like it's like model bait tier, but it's just so like whatever that I kind of wanted in wasted potential.
Yeah. The problem is I can't even call it model bait because like what the fuck else were you going to buy? These are your models, you idiot.
For me, it's like a spiritual model bait, as in it's like dead center, not interesting, not actually model bait.
It's the enlightened centrist of...
Me levitating above you, looking like Dr. Manhattan. World eaters belong in middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is good for world eaters. It's just, what the fuck else were you gonna do? And that sucks.
It's hilarious to me because it's like, it's not even characters. It is literally sergeants. This army's so anemic that we couldn't even like name some characters to make those the bait. It's literally the sergeants of the 3 fucking legal units.
Yeah, and like, I think it's neat that they did it. They could have not done that, and you could have literally had, what, like 2 options? The Demon Prince and Demon Prince with wings.
Wait, you do realize it does affect the whole unit they're in too, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying instead of targeting a character like the librarian detachment targets librarians for the target of the unit, right?
Well, wouldn't we argue that's better?
Sure, it's better that it's just a sergeant so that you could have anything. But it's funny to me though that it's like, it's not even naming off characters. It's literally naming off the 4 sergeants.
I think that is a neat thing that like I kind of want them to do more of, but not because of why they did it. Like world leaders, they did it because they had to.
That was the list. It could be interesting if we rethought it as someone elite who does not need a babysitter. Something like Custodes, where targeting a sergeant makes sense because you don't need a fucking important custody to tell other Custodes what to do. They already fucking know the job.
Very much thinking of Arc champions.
Isn't that the kind of thing though? Because the world eaters, they are a vessel of wrath. They just like boil over with the blood and hatred of Khorne.
Sounds right.
The lore for this one is totally whatever. It's fine. It's Khorne. It's angry.
I think it nails Khorne.
It's very funny that we have 5 models. How do we make a detachment that has any form of flavor? We already did the base detachment.
I do hope that like they learn a little bit of something here. We can keep cooking.
If for a time thing, we're recording this the day before LVO reveals. For all of the Emperor Children fans, including Eric right now in the audience.
And me.
Pray that you get treated better than Khorne fans did when we got the World Eaters reveal and it was all a whopping 3 units.
Me looking like the dude in the audience standing up. I like the Fulgrim model.
It's a cool model, yeah. But like, hopefully that's not all.
I feel like we should take the world eaters and put them up one. I kind of feel like they should be up one.
All right, they can be model bait for the entire range.
That's good with me. I'm okay with that. Do we have any thoughts, any final discussions on everything here? I'm feeling pretty okay with it. Honestly, I'm okay with like taking Deathwatch and just deleting them from the list out of the humor of it all. But besides that, I'm feeling pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, there is a bunch at the top, and that is good. Grotmas was a success. There were a couple stumbles.
I do think that was a major takeaway I wanted for this episode is Grotmas something that we enjoyed and think was good for the game? And I think it's a resounding hell yeah. Even if some of my armies got bad detachments, some of them got much needed extra detachments. And it's like, I welcome this. If 10th is going to be how 11th looks, more or less, like if it's like 9th to 8th, then we need more variety. That's the name of the game. We don't need more complex layers on top, though I would like them. But I can understand it's bad for new people, but we need variety. The choice before the game, like, how do I want to play this week? What do I want to play this week? And Grotmas has delivered that in spades.
I will say that I'm in the same boat. Half of my armies, CSM, Guard, Krons, kind of Space Marines-ish, all did really well, had a great time. And then the other half, like Sisters, Votann, definitely didn't. So I am overall mostly like like mixed on my personal armies, but this is a very top-sided vision at the end here. And yeah, I mean, if there was ever a time to be like full-on big clap, yes, Games Workshop, this was a successful test, do it again, this is absolutely the one.
Yeah.
And figure out why the ones that are bad here are bad and avoid mistake.
You hopped in here with a brand new idea and you get a resounding B+, maybe even an A-, actually.
I'll give them a full A if they promise to do it again. They can have whatever grade they want, just do this more.
You can have an extra credit.
Yeah. Blank check, write it. Nah, this was great. I'm looking forward to playing a couple and playing against a couple. That, like, I'm excited.
That's actually one of like the biggest ways to say how great this was. I am excited to play against detachments I have no care for their armies of. Like, I really want to play against Eris Purifier spam list. It looks cool. I will borrow some Harlequins to play the Drukhari Harlequin Fight Club. It's hilarious. Anyway, I think this has been a wonderful little topic for us to cover, and by little I mean this was a lot of work. So please, if you enjoyed us arguing with each other, do the YouTube pleasantries. It helps a lot. And yeah, other than that, we did all the shilling up front, so I won't do it again. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bricky, for joining us. I know it's been a rough couple weeks over there to schedule you in.
Yep. I mean, there's been a lot of that, but it's all right. I get to look forward to another whole week of learning Chun-Li combos with one hand.